Good morning again, dear students. I'm Umida Toyerova Soberevna, and today we will talk about the topic earthquake. You know, it is also the most important, the most, for example, dangerous, and the most important issue of our nowadays life. And today we will talk about the earthquake itself. In order to introduce our earthquake, we should pay attention to the original word from which, for example, word it came and what kind of meaning it has. Earthquake, also known as a quake, tremor, or tremble, is a phenomenon where there is a sudden release of extreme energy from the earth's crust, resulting in shaking and displacement of the ground, along with the creation of seismic waves. If the epicenter of a larger earthquake is situated in the offshore, in the sea or ocean or seabed, may be displaced sufficiently to cause tsunami. It also triggers landslides and occasional volcanic eruption. You know, earthquake is a such kind of phenomena, like natural phenomena. It is resulting the shaking of the earth or ground. Mostly, it can, along with the creation of seismic waves. What is earthquake itself? We have one question about what is earthquake. An earthquake is a result of a sudden release of energy in the earth's crust and creates seismic waves. The seismic activity of an area refers to the frequency, type, and size of earthquake experienced over a period of time. And also, earthquake shaking may cause loss of life, destruction of property. In a strong earthquake, the ground shakes violently, buildings may fall and sink into the soil, rocks and soil may move downhill at a rapid rate. Such landslides can bury houses and people. Yeah, from this information, it can be shown, it can be very visible that earthquake can bring a lot of damage to people's life and also to the condition of people. Here we have I prepared four vocabulary with a given definition. You should try to match them because I choose four words: earthquake, seismic waves, epicenter, and focus. Try to match each of the words with its own definition. Then, after several seconds, we will compare your answer with mine, and then we will continue our word topic about earthquake. The correction answer will be earthquake. It is a vibration of the earth produced by the rapid release of energy. Seismic waves. It is the energy moving outward from the focus of an earthquake. Focus. It is the location of initial slip on the fault where the earthquake origin. And epicenter. Epicenter. It is a spot on earth surface directed above the focus. Uh, Dear learners, please look at this picture, and by this picture you can see the picture of the earth where the epicenter, the focus, the earthquake or seismic waves can be included here. Let's check our, for example, knowledge on the types of earthquake. Here we have till the 10 types. It is like the type of the earthquake. You know, earthquake can be divided into, according to the scientists and researchers' point of view, they can divide them into several, especially 10 types. Now, today we will learn about each of them. Uh, here we have the first one. It is a not felt shaking. It means a shaking. You never feel anything that it can be not too strong. Therefore, you can't feel anything here because most of the, for example, condition can be, for example, will be very good. And the second one and the third one is very weak because in this, for example, earthquake may be upper floors of the building can move a little bit, but it is not too dangerous one because it is too weak earthquake form or type of the earthquake. What about light? In this, for example, type, most of the light earthquake can be, for example, happen at night. Maybe some of them can awaken. Maybe windows. Maybe, for example, dishes can crack it, but it is not, for example, too strong ones and can bring a lot of damage to everyone. And what about moderate one? Moderate one, it is a not weak, not, for example, a strong one. It is like in the middle. Felt, you can feel something, and some of the windows can broken. Unstable object overturn it, but clocks may stop, but because of the moderate types of earthquake. What about sixth type? It is about strong one because in the strong one, your furniture can move. Most of the, for example, things can fall down, and the damage can be slight. What about very strong one? Very strong one, it will be like, for example, the damage, which is negligible in building of good design and destruction. Most of the structure can fall down, uh, and also most of the building also destroyed by this earthquake because it is too strong. Severe one, it is very, very like, for example, bad uh, type of earthquake because most of them, most of the buildings, most of the, for example, structure can fall down. And violent and extreme is are very the greatest earthquake types because in this one everywhere should be destroyed by this kind of earthquakes, and we should pay attention because we can find always destroyed and bad damage condition of the environment. Look here in this picture and you can see that if you throw one stone here, it can be, for example, sprayed everywhere, and the waves of the earthquake will happen like this. It is a like vibration. It is like a moving and shaking of the earth. Therefore, you should pay attention. It is a given them such kind of comparison, like we can compare while you are throwing such kind of stone in the water, and you can look at the, for example, side of the water because the side can be very visible. What about the seismometer? Seismometer, it is such kind of equipment which can measure the earthquakes because this kind of instrument can measure the motion of the ground, including those of the seismic waves generated by earthquakes, volcanic eruption, and other seismic sources. And also, it can, for example, this kind of instrument can be, for example, used not only in the ores and also boreholes you can use, and especially in the underwater, you can also use this measurement instrument of earthquake. Earthquake safety rules. Mostly when we come across with such kind of situation, we are, for example, we feel ourselves that we are on the shock. Therefore, we should escape. We should get rid of such kind of stress and shock and pay attention to the rules, especially to the safety rules. If you are in a house, what should you do? You shouldn't leave for getting down from building. It means you shouldn't use any elevator or lift in order to go up or go down from the building. We should be prepared to meet with our family because if you are in a shop, in a school, or in an office, and you shouldn't run for an exact Take cover under a desk or table. You should move away from the window glass. Don't go near electric point and cable. Keep away from weak portion of the building and false ceiling. It run for an exact. And also, if you are outside, what should you do? Here also we have some special rule. When we are outside, we should avoid from high building, especially block of flats like high apartments like skyscraper buildings. Walls, power lines, and other objects that could fall and create block. Don't run through the street. If possible, move on to an open area away from hazards, including trees. And also, if you are in a vehicle, what should you do? You should stop in one place, an open place, remain inside the vehicle. You should close window and doors, and you should sit in the inside of the vehicle. After an earthquake, what should we do? After an earthquake, we should pay attention that we should feel ourselves like calm. We should keep calm. We should switch on the transistor radio and all the electricity. We should keep away from beaches, from low banks of a river. We should, for example, don't enter to the badly damaged building, and we shouldn't go near the damaged structure. We should turn off water, electricity, gas. We shouldn't smoke, light, or match any cigarette or any lighter. You should turn on switch. There are maybe gas or leak or short circuit, and there is any fire, try to put it out and call fire brigade, because of such kind of electricity of gas after earthquake, it can, for example, bring such kind of fire. Maybe most of the places can be on fire. Therefore, we should prevent all our people about fire or other damage of earthquake. Don't drink water from open container without having examined it. If you are aware of people having buried, tell the rescue team don't rush and try not to worsen the situation. Avoid places where there are loose electric wires and don't come in contact with any metal object. It's something because you will be better, you can feel yourself better. In order to help other, you should be able to help other. For example, in this situation, everyone should help to each other, because this kind of disaster, it is very harmful. Don't walk around the street and see what is happening. Keep the street clear to rescue vehicles can access the road easily. And also, you should pay attention to the one thing, in order to describe such kind of event, such kind of condition or situation, we need a lot of words to describe them. And today I'll prepare it for you, some special words, and here I give all of them for you. You can use them in order to describe the situation or event which, for example, will happen and which will, for example, belong to the topic of earthquake. It should be maybe awful, big, catastrophic, destructive, devastating, disastrous, dreadful, fearful, first, general, great, mighty, massive, major, largest one, maybe huge, maybe political, powerful, severe, slight, sudden, terrible, terrific, undersea, violent, social, strong, tremendous. All of these adjectives are very useful in order to make up the sentences of the earthquake. What about earthquake? In earthquake, we can come across with a hazard. It is like the disaster and vulnerability, because after hazard, most of our, for example, condition and our also feeling can be like vulnerable one, because hazard, vulnerable are type of the disaster. Therefore, we should pay attention to these two words. And also we have after hazard and vulnerability, they became like disaster. And it is a picture which gives the disaster, because human is the inside of the disaster itself. Again, explanation of earthquake is that earthquake are not predictable. can occur anytime and are of a short duration. Disaster due to earthquake are natural disaster. We cannot prevent earthquake, we can be prepared and try to mitigate the effect of an earthquake. What does it mean? Earthquake is a natural disaster, therefore no one can tell that it can be, for example, happen in, for example, after 2 days or after 2 hours. It is like unpredictable, it is unexpectable, therefore it can happen, it can occur in any time, in any, for example, situation or conditions. Therefore, as a people, as a human being, we should be prepared and we should try to mitigate the effect of the earthquake, because it is a natural disaster. Another earthquake disasters also explanation is given. After earthquake, lives lost or people are injured, damage to property, to roads, to bridge, to power station will be. There may not be any electricity because of earthquake, and water supply also will be disrupted. Mobile telecommunication towers may collapse, road network may be affected, and because this kind of damage can include after the, for example, earthquake disaster. Uh, in order to risk reduction of the disaster, we should pay attention to the risk awareness and assessment, to the knowledge development, institutional frameworks, application of land use protection, science, technology, partnership, financial, and early warning system. And also, I want to inform you about one important thing, that earthquake, it is such kind of phenomena that no one knows when and where it will happen. Maybe we have such kind of instrument or apparatus of like seismometer, but it can only can measure the motion, the speed, the fastness of the earthquake. I mean, it can measure earthquake in it is for example slide one, it is given light one, it is given in a weak form, it is given in a heavy or in a severe or in an extremely, for example, dangerous way. Because by this seismic measurement you can for example measure the, for example, earthquakes measure. Therefore, it is very important. I think this lesson is also very vital for your knowledge, because by knowing a lot of information about earthquake, about disaster, can prevent us about the natural phenomena which someday maybe will be happen in our life. Therefore, you should pay attention and never forget about such kind of natural phenomena that we will have in our future, because earthquake, it is also such kind of very uh, very bad situation, and all the people can be damaged through this kind of phenomena, because this phenomena can be very harmful not only for our government, for our society. It can be also very important for everyone. Goodbye and see you. I hope this lesson will be instructive and informative for your knowledge.